Hi Gias. So I'm going to record a video giving feedback on the designs and helping to kind of demonstrate like the sort of vision I've got in mind for how this website can look. Um, because I think it's quite a specific, unique, like niche thing that this website would be for the company it's representing. So I think it would probably be quite a different project to anything that you've worked on before. So I've done quite a few visuals for ideas that I've had, and yeah, so I thought I would just go over that and I can show you in a videos better. Anyway, first I'm going to start with just saying like just going over the mock-ups you've sent and things I like, things I don't like. So I'm just going to start with this page here. This will be the landing page. Um, I think this is really nice. This looks very nice. I don't think we'd really want to change it much. Um, in this iteration, the only thing I would say, instead of explore now, which is kind of what you'd maybe do for a normal business, because this is like we're trying to imagine that people are entering the world that we've created, this fantasy magical world. So instead of saying explore now, it's say something like enter our world, something like that. Um, and maybe one day, like for later on, we'll maybe have an animation, like there'll be like some fog or mist. And I'm imagining this Carnifolk coming out of the mist like that. So this, but otherwise, this is really good. Now with these, um, this is quite nice. But I think there's a different way we can sort of lay this out. Um, it's like some of these are quite nice, especially this one on upcoming events. I think this is quite nice. So we can have it kind of like this, but on the point of like the background. So for example, you see how it's kind of just grey here, and I don't really think we should ever just have kind of like a monocolor thing. I think there should always be some kind of art in the background. So a few examples, something like this, but maybe it's faded a bit, and maybe some of the middle is missing. Um, so it's easier for text to be seen. A lot of like images like this, or like this kind of medieval fair. Things like that are like kind of what's around the edge in the background. Um, Obviously done in a way so that like the text is still visible. These kind of images. And then with pictures of people, especially, pictures of people, I think it's very nice, because we want to like give this old feel, like this world and this theme. It's meant to be from like hundreds of years ago. So to make the images more interesting, um, and kind of fit in with the vision better, I think it'd be better if maybe things like were framed, or if they were maybe like an oval or a circle instead of just these kind of boxes, or if they had like like these kind of frames around them. Let's see if we can get a bigger image. All these images are quite small. Here we go. Things like that. If the images had interesting borders, I think that would really help. Um, so yeah, and then that's kind of feedback kind of applies to all of here. And then like for example the text and the font. I think it'd be really nice if the text was this kind of gothic medieval style, which is what a lot of the books at the time were written in. So here you can see like this is like an actual old book, an actual image of an old book. You see like the first letter is very big and ornate, And you can find a lot of these texts, these fonts online. They're quite easy to come by. Here's another original one. So maybe a lot of the text can kind of look like this, and then I'll show you. I've drawn some images of what the text can kind of look like. So anyway, we've just gone over that, and yeah, that kind of what I've just said just applies to a lot of this stuff. So imagining we're back to here now. So I've drawn some designs for how a layout could look, right? So you have here Carnifolk, you can have it enter our world, and then once someone clicks that, maybe there's some kind of like zoom moving moment. I'll send you a website which I've shown you before that I think we can maybe take some inspiration from, and then it would come to like a page like this, right, with Carnifolk, like that Carnifolk in the middle, and then instead of like us being in a list, there's like they're kind of like floating around that Carnifolk. Maybe there's a little image by them, and maybe if they can have a slight movement, so it looks like they are like floating, like there's like a spell has been done on them, and then that would look really like visually appealing. Now, in terms of like, for example, the text and the writing, instead of just being there in a like kind of like a text box or something, I think if it could float, or if it could be in things like this, right? So we'll click. Imagine we click about. Imagine it kind of goes to a screen like this, right? So we'll have about the Carnifolk, and then on like an old piece of parchment, old piece of paper. Imagining that like it would be written on here, and maybe there'd be like some art that looks like a drawing. So my friend San has offered to do some art for us, so we can use that art there like that. And imagining we're going back to this page now, and we've clicked lore. So this is like the story of the world that we've created, and it goes to a screen like this. So I want you to imagine that these are two books. And there are two where we do our performances. We do them in Bristol and Manchester, and they're like two different groups. So they both have their own kind of story. So imagining you would like click on one of these books depending on which area you want to learn about, and once you clicked on that book, it opened up, and then all of the writing for the lore is like written in a book. It'd be here and here, and then you click here, and we don't need an animation yet. Maybe in the future it would be nice, but you imagine like you click, and then it would be like turning the page, and then you'd have two, and then it'd have 2 and 3, 3 and 4 instead of 1 and 2, and that's how you would kind of go through that. And then if we go back to the lore page, imagining you could scroll down, and here it says residents. Would be like the different characters that exist in our world, and each one could have a different bio, like Cousin Carving and Spud and Johnny. These are all different characters, and imagine an image. They could either be a circular frame or a square frame. I'm not sure what would look better. And then you'd scroll, imagine you're scrolling down, there'd be more characters, and you can click on them, and that's where I imagine actually an image like this, something like that would look really good. There you'd have some pictures of the character that they can scroll through, like the name of the character there, and then like a bio of the character. I'm imagining now we've gone back to this page, so let's go to let's go to past events actually, because I've done a bit more on that. So then past events, it will take you to this page, right? And how we've done it, like series 1, and then it'd be like chapter 1, and then an image from that one, and we'd be able to provide you with this, and the name of that episode, which we'd also give to you, and then you'd maybe click on that episode, and then maybe once again it could take you to a screen similar to this, maybe where you'd be able to read what happened in that episode, and you could click through images, pictures from that episode, and you know how you go down like series 1, then chapter 1, 2, 3, and then series 2, chapter 1, and oh, I forgot to say, sorry. So it would go like this. So you'd click on past events, and then imagining in nice letters, you'd say Brigstow or Mancunian, so that's meant to be Bristol or Manchester. And then you'd click on one, and then it would take you to this, because you know they're different episodes, and different past events have happened based on which city they've done in. So you know you'd click that, or you'd click there, and it would then take you to this, and then you could click one of those, and maybe it takes you to a screen like that. We have upcoming events. Now, how you've actually done it, let's see, how you've done it here is quite nice. I quite like that. Or I'm maybe imagining something like, here we go, I've written it here, because our events happen in both Bristol and Manchester, so maybe you've got upcoming events, and then Brigstow, Mancunian, maybe we need to have in brackets Bristol, Manchester, so people know what we mean, and then going down this way and going down this way, you'd see different things, like kind of like this, right? And like the date, picture, title, where the venue is, and maybe a link for tickets. So yeah, I think that's all the kind of thoughts I had immediately. And then finally the contact page. So basically, kind of keeping in with what I've sort of told you. We could this could be fairly standard. Maybe make it look like, as they're filling it out, like there's this quill here, like for writing, and maybe it looks like they're writing a letter or something to us. And then in terms of like the aesthetics, like I'm imagining, as I said, these picture frames going around pictures, and this kind of style of text. You can find these fonts, they're everywhere online. And then in the background, I'm imagining this is going to be the background of all the pages, different things like images like this, and forests and nature, and kind of like medieval fairs, and we'll get art made for a lot of this as well. And also what I think would be a cool idea to do is to have these kind of like characters, right? These characters that are drawn in a medieval, historical style, right? Which my friend San can do for us. So there'll be like PNGs of just the characters, and we can maybe have them sort of like acting as if they live on the website. They're just still images, but maybe they'd be like walking on like the moon here. They'd be like walking there, or like here, there'd maybe be some of these characters, and they're down here and they're looking up there, and some of them are up here and they're looking down there, and there maybe there's some, and they're like these kind of characters, they're walking across the top of the books, and they all kind of look like this, these kind of strange medieval characters, things like this, and these sort of drawings and images and stuff. So this is kind of the vision I had. I know it's not an easy job, it's quite complicated, but considering the sort of project that it is, and the movement and the kind of organization that it is, and what it does, it's theatre and art, so how it visually looks is almost more important than like practical function in some ways. How it looks to customers needs to be really wow, and like almost like an adventure in itself is to explore this website and see what's on it. And I think this will be very good for us as well, because this is a very beautiful looking website, and I think if we can show people like, look, this is a website we've made, it'll be very impressive and they'll really want to work with us. So I think it's very important that we get this right. So anyway, just let me know what you think, and we can go back and forth and work some stuff out. Anyway, thanks so much. Sorry this is such a long video, but do let me know your thoughts. Thank you.